وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Narrated to us by Ibn Abbas. This is the last hadith that I'll narrate within the kind of no category category that I've been narrating a hadith just for the sake of kind of sharing stories about the Prophet ﷺ and his life and aspects that I don't really know where to categorize. So this is the last one, inshallah, and then on Tuesday I'll start a different series altogether. I want to fit this hadith thing, I like it. So Ibn Abbas anhu tells us in this hadith, narrated to us by Imam Ahmad with a reasonable chain narration, قال كان ناس من الأسرى يوم بدر لم يكن لهم فداء. There are some people who were held captive or prisoners of war of the day of Badr from the mushrikeen, from the other side of the Prophet ﷺ's army, that did not have fida. I mean, they didn't have enough money to pay them their way out of being a prisoner of war, and none of their family members were willing to put up the wealth. So basically, there's no fida. فجعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فداءهم أن يعلموا أولاد الأنصار الكتابة. So the Prophet ﷺ dictated that their fida was going to be that they taught the children of the Ansar al-Kitaba, to write. And I'm going to narrate to you, I'm going to share with you what Ibn Sa'ad said in a moment. قال فعاد غلام يوما يبكي. One of the kids that were sent to this program came back one day crying. فقال أبوه ما شأنك? His father said, what's wrong with you? فقال ضربني معلمي. My teacher slapped me. فقال ما أراه إلا أراد ثأر بدر هذا الخبيث لا تأتيه أبدا. This wicked soul just wanted to get back at me for something I did on the day of Badr too. So he slapped you. I'm not sending you back again. Ibn Sa'ad في الطبقات, Imam Ibn Sa'ad is a famous Islamic historian, and in his book At-Tabaqat, which is a very extremely important book as a resource for a seerah, he said he would also narrate by Ibn Abbas or some of the Sahaba, where he would say that أسر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوم بدر 70 رجلا. That on the day of Badr, 70 mushrikeen were held as prisoners of war. فمن لم يكن لهم فداء جعل رسول الله فداءهم أن يعلموا أولاد الأنصار الكتابة فكان أهل المدينة يكتبون وأهل مكة يكتبون وأهل المدينة لا يكتبون. Because the people of Mecca, they were literate, they knew how to write and read, but the people of Medina didn't. So the Prophet ﷺ, he was an anomaly when it came to that piece in his life. Like as a child, he wasn't taught to read and write. That was not the norm. Just so you understand, like an extra part of his struggle and difficulties in life, ﷺ, is that he didn't get the fair shake that all the kids in Mecca got growing up. All the kids in Mecca went and learned to read and write. But because he was an orphan and his uncle was way too busy to care for that, he grew up working. He didn't get to go to learn and read and write like all of his cousins and other children. So that's why he didn't read and write, not because he didn't want to. He didn't want to go. No one gave him the option as a child. Like he grew up and no one took the time to teach him to read and write. The Arabs, obviously, you don't need to read and write does not dictate whether you're intelligent or ethical or not. I can take you to where there are PhDs and MDs and show you the ethics and show you the intelligence and show you some of the stupidest people I know. You have 3 or 4. I don't want to say more than that. I'm going to get in trouble. But it has nothing to do with it. But of course, having that skill set of reading and writing is helpful in terms of in life, in your life. And he didn't have alayhi salam because he didn't have the time. Didn't have time to teach him. So he came to Medina and he found that these people were illiterate. All of them. They didn't read and write at all. None of them did. So when this happened, when there were 70, when there were Asra, prisoners of war, and none of them, and some of them couldn't pay them their way out, and maybe 15 of them or 20 of them couldn't out of the 70, he made it that each of them, فَكَانَ كُلُّ وَاحِدٍ مِّنْهُمْ يُعَلِّمُ عَشْرَةً وعشرا من أولاد الأنصار. 10 of the kids. فَإِذَا تَعَلَّمُوا وَحَذِقُوا كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِدَاءَهُم. So the way that they were going to get themselves out of being prisoners is that they take the 10. If these 10 kids now can read and write, that's it. They're off the hook. يقول فكان زيد بن ثابت ممن تعلم. And that's why I'm telling you this hadith. Because you know the story. It said, amongst the kids who learned to read and write was Zayd ibn Thabit. فأجرى الله على يديه خيرا كثيرا فتعلم العبرية وترجم لرسول الله وجمع القرآن وحفظ القرآن وتعلم الفروض والوصايا وكان من كبار فقهاء الصحابة وممن حفظ القرآن. And Zayd ibn Thabit, he learned. You see this little program he started, alayhi salatu wasalam? Wallahi, every time I tell the seerah, for the last 2 times, I've done it here 4 times in the city, the last 2 times I've forgotten to tell the story. Because it's a small piece. It just slips my mind. It's a simple little program that the Prophet ﷺ made. Okay, you guys want to get yourselves out? All right, teach 10 kids to read and write. Wallahi, forgot to tell. The last time I know I did. The last time I told the seerah, I know I forgot to tell the story. It slipped my mind. I moved on to Uhud and I didn't remember to tell it at all. From this little program that he put together, a kid learned. This kid later on became the person when we needed as an ummah someone to take upon himself the responsibility of putting the whole Quran together. This was as he would say later on, that it would be easier to move a mountain than to do this. It was Zayd ibn Thabit radiallahu anhu, who took upon himself the responsibility of putting it all together. It was all there, but it needed someone to ayah by word for word in the Quran to make sure it was written. Make sure that the Sahaba, there was at least 2 people who heard it from the mouth of the Prophet. It was a lot of work. This little kid who learned in the program of Asra Badr. Not like the Asra Badr program of teaching literacy. That's where he learned. So this is what I'm trying to say. We should not underestimate the power of these simple initiatives that happen in communities. The simple little things that we do to teach children and to help youth. Because you never know. You never know which one of them is Zayd ibn Thabit. You never know which one of them is Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi. That's what I look at when I see kids. I'm like, which one of you is going to make it worth everyone's while? One of you will do it. Statistically, they have to. One of them will make the difference. One of them will shift the needle, will have impact. And then everyone who just existed in their vicinity in a positive way will Yawm al-Qiyamah go in through their shafa'ah. That's how you have to see it. You have to look at younger people, how you see it. The potential that Allah subhanahu puts inside of them, that they carry within them. And just invest and just keep on showering. One of them will do it. One of them will do something that will save all of us Yawm al-Qiyamah. Everyone sitting here will be saved just by, you were in the masjid when that kid was learning. How were you? Were you kind? Or were you always scowling? Or are you like yelling at them to be quiet? What were you doing? And then at that point you'll be like, I hope I was nice. I don't remember. I hope I was a nice person. Be nice. Be nice and be helpful and put in your time and put in your wealth, because you never know which of them is going to be the future of this ummah. All of them will be the future of this ummah, right? All of them. Now, and one of them will be Zayd ibn Thabit, who will carry the ilm as he not only he memorized the Quran, he became the head or the top Sahabi when it came to inheritance and furud and wasa. Like he became the faqih of he taught, he made sure that we have that science and knowledge today, radiallahu anhu, through the program of Asra Badr. يروي الإمام أحمد في مسنده بسند حسن عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما قال كان ناس من الأسرى يوم بدر لم يكن لهم فداء فجعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فداءهم أن يعلموا أولاد الأنصار الكتابة فعاد غلام يوما يبكي فقال أبوه ما شأنك فقال ضربني معلمي فقال ذلك الخبيث يأخذ بثأر بدر لا تعد إليه أبدا. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك وعظم على نبينا وحبيبنا وقرة أعيننا محمد